How's it, guys? Welcome back to my channel, and marhaba if you are new here, and ahlan wa sahlan. كيف حالكم شلونك, as it were. Which basically means how's it going. I do things just based on whatever mood I'm in. Sometimes I like to just have a quiet little video, and I like to type things in. Sometimes I like to chat, so today is a chatty day, and I hope you enjoy it. I am going to share with you a recipe, the stuffed turkey, sausage, and biscuits delicious yumminess in a to-go version, because I work. So you can make this ahead of time and freeze it and just heat it up in the microwave, or if you're at home you can just heat it up in your toaster oven or your regular oven and you are good to go, because life is busy. So for those of you that aren't new here, you know that I like to cook. I call it marathon cooking, so I cook a lot all at once. That way we can just grab it and go about whatever else we want to do. So I think this is a super fun recipe, and it's super fast and easy to make. So without further ado, let's go. So these are all of the ingredients. Actually, there are a couple of ingredients that I'll show you later, but it's very, very simple. And I will have all of it listed below in the description box, both in English and in Arabic for my Arabic speakers out there. And you can see what I just did. I added onions and I added hot red peppers, and then I just wilted them until they were golden brown, and I took them out of the pan, and salt and pepper and red pepper flakes, of course. You know, it's never hot enough. We like a little spice here. And that you saw was the turkey sausage, and then you just add in your flour, and I did this in little sections, as you'll see. And turkey breakfast sausage, and it's not very greasy or anything, and you need to make a roux, essentially, like you do with bechamel if you're making linguine, stroganoff, you know, things of that nature. So it's much the same as that. So after I mix in the flour and get the flour taste off of it, then I add in milk and heavy cream. This portion right here is the milk that I do first, and then at the very end of that, there is the heavy cream right there. Then I add that in. So you see how fast this comes together. You just brown your vegetables if you want to add them. A lot of people don't. We like to have vegetables in with it. So you see how thick it got? So we're freezing all of this. But when you go to reheat it, if you're making just regular biscuits and gravy, just add milk to it and reheat it, and it'll come more liquidy, and it'll be a really nice sauce over the biscuits. It's so delicious, and this is a complete meal within itself. So, and then here I'm just making my biscuits. So we have that's my husband. He's helping me pour in the heavy cream. So it's just flour, just all-purpose, or self-rising flour and heavy cream. So you can make your biscuits just like that. You can go a lot of different routes with biscuit making, but this is the easiest, just 2 ingredients, because that's all you need. Because you know you can make butter from the heavy cream, obviously. So that's all you need, and these taste so good. You can also use buttermilk, but the store was actually sold out of it, so we just used heavy cream. And we had gone back a couple of different, well, my husband did, went back to the store a couple of different times looking, and it was still sold out. So we just used heavy cream, and I am so happy we did, because these biscuits are just dope. They are that good and flaky and delicious. So we just keep adding in the heavy cream, and I don't want to overwork it. I'm just trying to get it wet basically so it'll hold together. So we just keep adding slowly. We basically used 2 quarts minus about 2 cups and like 8 cups of flour, because we made a huge amount. I think it in total turned out to be like 33 biscuits that we got out of this. And I didn't stuff all of them. I stuffed quite a few of them, but not all of them. So that way, you know, we could just eat some as we like, regularly, without like having it as a to-go form version. So I can't tell you enough, just don't overwork this dough, because it's forgiving, but it's also sensitive if you're reworking it. So all I did was add enough of the heavy cream to make it stick together, and that's all I did, and then pour it out onto my pastry board there, and then I just kneaded a couple of times, and that is it. I like my biscuits messy, you know. I mean, I'm not new to biscuit making, but this was the first time I made the gravy. So, and them together, and then also this was my first time that I made them stuffed biscuits and gravy, just because, you know, I want something that's homemade, and I don't have time to do that before I go to work. So this is how I, you know, get the best of both worlds for our lifestyle. So I just pat it out, and then I didn't even use my rolling pin or anything. I just used my hands, and I folded it so it would have different layers, and then I just pushed it out so I could cut the dough. And I'm showing you that is my gravy. So you saw my husband put it in a bag, and then we just stuck it in the freezer and then pulled it out for a few minutes, and then just cut it like he's doing right there. That way it would hold up and not be a liquid mess trying to stuff it. So this is how I did it. It's just as simple as that. Very, very easy. So there is my little cutter, biscuit cutter. I got that so long ago from one of my old neighbors, actually. She gave it to me. Anyway, so, and I've had it all these years, so I just pulled that out. And some people twist. I'm a twister, and some people are very adamant about this, how you cut your dough, about just pushing it in, and that's it. So you just do whatever. If you don't have a biscuit cutter, you can use a glass or whatever you have that's, you know, will cut into something. Or you can hollow out a can or whatever, or a cookie cutter. It doesn't matter really. And you can have them any shape you want. If you want square ones or heart ones, you know, whatever kind of cutter you have will work just fine. So, and then I'll use that dough again too, but I just wanted to show you. And I cut out a lot of the video, so you'll only see me here doing a few of them. And then that is the one I'm going to show you how to do it stuffed. So I just take a biscuit that I've already cut, I roll it out, I get my frozen turkey gravy mixture, and then, you see me, I just like pinch in the sides, and you see I'm adding dough to it because a couple of the parts made a little hole, and I don't want it to seep out when it's baking as much as I can. And then I just reshape it a little bit, and that's basically it. So it's super easy. I mean, I've bought biscuits before. Biscuits with turkey, like Jimmy Dean has those biscuits, and they have the turkey sausage in them. Patties. They sell that at BJ's, so I've gotten that quite a bit. But this is so inexpensive and easy to do. I really wanted to try this. It's really, really good too. I wouldn't eat it all of the time because it's obviously not keto friendly, but it's a good breakfast or any time of day meal. And it's good when you're in a hurry and you have it already made like that. You can just heat it up and go, like I said. So I'll go ahead and roll out the rest of the dough, pat it all out, and I'm being very conscious about not overworking it at all, because a long time ago my husband, he made biscuits for us. It's the funniest thing, because I guess he just didn't realize he didn't try it, and then he came in with it all so happy, but they were hockey pucks. I mean, they were as hard as a hockey puck because he overmixed it. So it can happen. So I can't stress that enough. Don't over mix and overwork your dough. But it's really a no-brainer, but if you're not a cook, then you just wouldn't know that until you do it. So, and then I just have my stainless steel pans, but I still just put parchment paper on them, and then I just added that to the tray, and then I worked the rest of my dough in. And I made some of them really thick like that as well. The ones on the left of the pan there are the stuffed ones. And then these, see, that one's thinner. I'm showing you. One's thicker, one's thinner. And when you are folding your dough over, that's what gives you those layers, and then they'll just pull right apart very easily. So like if you just want to make only biscuits and not biscuits with gravy, like you could add turkey bacon to it, and some cheese, and then fold them up, after you bake them, and then fold them up and then freeze them, and you can just have that ready and grab that before you go. But I made them different sizes because I wasn't sure what my husband wanted, so I made different, or myself, so I wasn't sure, how thick I wanted it, so I wanted a variety to try. And here are a bunch of them that I made, and I'll show you here. Some of them are thinner than others, and some of them are really thick. I can't tell you, these were so delicious. I was surprised at how good these were and turned out. But just using the heavy cream and your self-rising flour, it would take you like 20, 30 minutes with cleanup, maybe 45 with cleanup, 45 minutes to get it all done. And you don't have to, make as many as I did, but yeah, we still have some in the freezer. We haven't finished them because I try personally for myself not to eat too many carbs, so this is like a treat. Now my husband can have at it all he wants, and he does, and he was like, Oh yes, very good. He liked to eat these, so. But if you're watching your weight, I'm just putting that out there. You know, but sometimes even when you're doing keto, you have bread. I mean, it's not 0 carbs, but it's just, you know, not something you want to eat every single day if you're watching your weight and your figure. So, all right, so there's me reheating, and you can see I'm adding in cumin and some garlic. So now these were taken out of, we cooked them, we baked them, 450 degrees Fahrenheit. About, for 2 of those trays, it was like 10 minutes or so. And then my husband's adding the butter to the biscuits, all of them, and then we'll just pop them back in the oven for a few minutes, and they'll get just slightly more brown. And what isn't good with butter, you know what I mean? So I highly recommend taking the extra effort to add just it looks like a large smidgen of butter, maybe a tablespoon. And then he rubbed it all in, and then back into the oven they will go. So, these are really good. And we just used that little rubber spatula. I got 3 of those years ago. I love those things because if you're going into your mayonnaise jar or your jelly jar, they reach all the way down to the bottom from those big, huge, you know, jars from BJ's or Costco. And they spread really nicely. They're essentially just plastic knives. Okay, so here they are out of the oven. Delicious. And then here is the shot of the stuffed ones. Now, unfortunately, I apologize, but this one clip, for some odd reason, I think we smudged the lens on the camera, and it's a little bit fuzzy, but you can see this very nicely. It's just not as crisp of a picture. Oh no, that's not the stuffed one, sorry. So I'm just showing you that you can just peel the top off of this biscuit like butter, as they say. So, it turned out really flaky and just delicious. Like the whole thing, not even just the top where we put the butter. That's one of the stuffed ones right there. But I mean, the whole thing tastes so buttery, it's not even funny, even though the butter is just on the top. So it was really, really good. So I'm just, and as you can see, I'm cutting into it, and I showed you the whole circumference of that biscuit, and it did not leak out at all. And this was frozen when I put it in the raw dough and into the oven. So it's totally awesome. And then you can just go off to work on your merry way and then have that whenever you feel like it. So flaky. And my husband was worried that it was going to make it too liquidy because it was frozen, and it worked like a champ. Even though, you know, because when something's frozen, it's a little wet with the iciness, and it just worked really well. It wasn't soggy or anything. So okay. Oh, okay. So he liked it. I fed him that, so. And here's another shot of the stuffed ones. I really wanted you to see that. None of them really seeped any of the gravy, the turkey gravy, out of it. So I was really, really pleased with how these turned out and how inexpensive these are. Just heavy cream, the self-rising flour, And then the turkey sausage. The turkey sausage roll was like $2.14 at Walmart.com. So there you have it. Which is really, really good. Okay, here's another biscuit. This one is that, yeah, that's another stuffed one. So, is it a stuffed one? I can't tell because I'm doing this voiceover. And oh, okay, that's just a regular one. And these are good plain. You don't even need any gravy if you don't want any, because sometimes you just want a biscuit, right? I mean, who doesn't crave carbs? Said no one ever, right? So there's the gravy, and you can see from when we stored it how thick it was. We just added more milk, and then we added the garlic powder and the cumin to it because we like a lot of flavor. So I really like the way that turned out, and also putting the vegetables in, and all we added was the onions, yellow onions, green hot peppers, and cilantro. The Kesbara. Cilantro means Kesbara in Arabic. That's it. And then salt, pepper, red pepper flakes. And then we decided to add kumun, and the garlic powder. So really, really, really tasty. So I hope you liked it. I hope you try it. If you try it, I would really love to know. My husband, he liked it too, so I'm happy.